Hello, absolutely great to see you again. I have a question for you. Have you got any talents? Now, I'm sure all of you have. My particular talent is eating chocolate, and I do that really, really well. But I'm going to tell you a story from the Bible all about a different kind of talent, which used to be a measurement of weight. So there is a story in Matthew chapter 25 about a landowner who was going on a trip, and he gave talents to 3 of his members of staff. He gave one of them 5 talents of silver, 2 talents to one, and 1 talent to the third one. And he said, I'm off, go and do something good with this. And then he went off on his travels, and the one with 5 invested the money and he worked hard with it. And by the time the landowner came back, he got 10 talents. And when he gave them to the landowner said, well done, good and faithful servant. And he was really pleased with him. He gave him a promotion, fantastic. Then the guy that he'd given the 2 talents to, he'd done the same. He had worked hard, he invested it well, and he'd got another 2 talents. So again, he had doubled it. And the master said, well done, good and faithful servant, and gave him a promotion too. And then the third one, who'd been given the 1 talent, was like, oh, I was really scared and I didn't want to lose it, so I've buried it. But here you go, here's your 1 talent. I didn't lose any of it. And the master was furious. He called him lazy and he sacked him, and he gave his money to the guy that had got the 10 talents. And the story finishes by him saying, to those who use well what they are given, even more will be given. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Now throw this useless servant into utter darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now that's an important lesson to us. God's given us these talents and God's given us these gifts so that we can help people get to know him. And if we don't use them, then in this story, the first 2 servants took a risk and it paid off. But the third servant thought, better safe than sorry, and it didn't work out. And where we're looking at things Jesus never said, he never said better safe than sorry. Now, if you've heard the story that Andrea was sharing earlier, all the disciples were afraid when they were on that boat, as I'm sure I would have been too. But Peter took a risk. He didn't think, oh, I better stay on the boat, at least I've got something to hold on to. He thought, no, I'm going to step out. I'm going to walk towards Jesus. And he walked on the water. That blows my mind thinking about it. I've seen videos where people can walk on custard, but I've never seen anybody walking on water. And we know he got freaked out, but Jesus was right there and rescued him. And Jesus certainly didn't play it safe. We're the ones who've messed up the world. We're the ones who've done all the wrong stuff and all the bad stuff. And Jesus left his place of safety and comfort in heaven to come to earth, and he was not safe. And if he hadn't done it, we would be sorry. Now, Jesus doesn't want us to be stupid or reckless, and he doesn't want us to just do crazy things for the sake of doing crazy things. And there's actually another time in the Bible. This is Jesus talking in Luke chapter 14, verses 28 to 32. And he says, but don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money, and then everyone would laugh at you. They would say, there's the person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish it. Or what king would go to war against another king without first sitting down with his councillors to discuss whether his army of 10,000 could defeat the 20,000 soldiers marching against him? And if he can't, he will send a delegation to discuss terms of peace while the enemy is still far away. So he doesn't want us to just blindly run around doing anything because we're not better safe than sorry. We've got to get out there and get risky. But he doesn't want us to be afraid either. Oftentimes we don't step out because we're afraid of failing. But the truth is, failure isn't the opposite of success. The opposite of success is actually never trying. How many of you can ride a bike? Now, I've heard that some of you have been learning over the summer. Do you want to know a secret? I can't ride a bike. I know. So when I was younger, and we were growing up, we lived very near to a railway station. We had lots of cars parking around all the time, and it wasn't safe for us to ride bikes. So I didn't learn as a child. And then when I got older, I tried someone else's bike, fell over, hurt my leg, and decided, number one, I'd look stupid, number two, it hurt, and I never tried again. But now I'm missing out. I know lots of people who go riding, and they've invited me to go with them, and I can't, because I can't ride a bike and I don't have a bike. So I'm missing out because I've been scared to try again. One of the most important things that any of us can do is to tell other people about God. If someone doesn't tell them, then they'll never get to know him, and that would be a really terrible thing. But we get scared that we'll fluff it up, or our friends will laugh at us, or that kind of thing. The best way to look at it is this. Imagine it's first aid. The main reason people don't help if someone's had an accident is because they're scared of making things worse. Doing first aid badly is better than doing nothing. Doing first aid well is the best, and that's why you should go on courses if you can, but doing it badly is better than doing nothing. At least you're doing something. But it's the same with stepping out in faith. Sometimes we might think we're hearing from God, but we're scared to tell anyone in case they laugh at us, in case we get it wrong, in case we've misheard, and sometimes we will. With first aid, it can mean the difference between life and death. Stepping out and doing something and having a go might actually save someone's life. With God stuff, stepping out and doing something might actually save someone's soul, which is even more important. So I would encourage you, step out, listen to God, make mistakes, dust yourself off and try again.